Well, here we are going live for episode 001 of the Sales Confidence Podcast. I'm starting my timer now because this podcast lasts for 30 minutes. And this is the first episode. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me. My name is Brian K. McNeill. And we're going to talk about something that I think is particularly important. We'll talk about something I think is particularly important. Today's topic is why you cannot fail in selling your services. Why you cannot fail in selling your services. Now, again, my name is Brian K. McNeill, and I'm the Sales Confidence Coach, and I've been in the profession of selling directly for 30 years now. I started when I was 23 and I'm now 53. But since I was 24, I've been put in positions where I was teaching others how to sell. So for 29 years, I've been engaged in the act of helping other people to sell. Now, entrepreneurs today, specifically, I'm speaking to a segment of you. Today, I want to speak to those entrepreneurs who have a service to offer. They have an intangible service, financial services, consulting services, coaching services, pest control services, lawn care services, health and wellness services, fitness services. They have intangible services, and they are not earning the money that they believe they could or should. They're feeling unsure. I'm speaking to you today. I'm also speaking to those entrepreneurs that are in that position where they believe that if they don't start making more money soon, they will be out of business. That's the ones I'm talking to, where they know they need to make a sale now to stay in business and to stay profitable. Those of you who are in that mode, and I know it doesn't feel good. I was there myself. I remember hurting, trying to sell. I was in a straight commission sales position. And I can tell you the exact moment my life changed. And we're going to help you guys. Today's topic, again, is why you cannot fail in selling your services. Why you cannot fail. I'm talking to you. Why you cannot fail in selling your services. Now, for me, I had been in the business for 8 months and was making no money. And I had a wife and 2 toddlers at the house, and I needed to make some real money. And I was dying. I was in pain. I was like, oh, Lord, I need to figure this out. The company that I worked for at the time, they had a sales leaderboard where every month, the top salesperson of that month, their name would go to the top. They had like these magnetic nameplates. Their name would go on the top of the board, then the second place and third and fourth and fifth. And it was typically 12 to 15 salespeople at the time. And my name had been at the very bottom or the next to the bottom one for 8 months straight. And other salespeople wouldn't even talk to me because I couldn't sell. They didn't want to talk to the low in the totem pole guy. And the sales training at the time consisted of hang in there. You'll get it. That's what they said for the training. Hang in there, Brian. People like you. You'll get it eventually. But I was dying. I was hurting. And I happened to run a sales lead. I had 2 leads. They were out of town. They were both about 35, 40 minutes from the city that I lived in. And I drove there, and my 11 a.m. appointment was not even home. They blew out. My next appointment wasn't until 6 p.m. So I wasn't going to drive all the way back home, waste gas. I had to stay in that area. And I wasn't confident enough to prospect. I didn't know what to do with my time. So I ended up in a used bookstore to basically get out of the heat. It was in August. And I ended up in a business section. And as if by providence, I discovered a business book on selling. The first book I discovered on selling was called How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. Had his picture big and prominent on the cover of the book. And I bought that book. And as I turned the pages of that book, I got to page 4. And page 4 had a subheading titled, Why You Cannot Fail in Selling Your Selling. Why you cannot fail in selling. And let me tell you, I needed someone to tell me at that time why I couldn't fail, because all I saw around me was failure. I needed someone to breathe that I wouldn't fail. And it was in that book, Why You Cannot Fail in Selling. So as I read about it, and his premise was, if you will do the things that you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do them with discipline, you can't fail in selling. Now, this book, I got that book in the 90s, is when I discovered it. We can't sell today the way they sold in the 90s. Back then, he was advocating using 3x5 index cards and a Rolodex. Some of y'all might not even know what those things are anymore. But we can't sell like that anymore. We have to sell today the way people buy today. And people buy today don't buy the way they bought back then. Matter of fact, if you're trying to sell in 2021 the way you sold in 2016 or 2015, 5-6 years ago, you're still losing ground. You can't sell today the way you sold 5 years ago. You have to sell yourself and your services today the way that people buy today, not the way they bought yesterday. So that's why you have to constantly keep up to date in your selling skills. Just like a doctor has to stay up to date in the medical practice, a lawyer has to stay up to date, a tax professional has to stay up to date in the current tax laws. You as an entrepreneur have to stay up to date in the way people buy today so that you can keep pace and you can stay profitable. Now, I'm doing these podcasts, again, it's only 30 minutes long, and I'm just going to try to just give. And I will be having guests. This is the first one, so it's just going to be me. I won't spend as much time talking to, at least not on this episode here, interacting the way I normally do. Some of you guys that have popped on here have been in my audiences for years, and they are accustomed to me speaking to you, but I won't do that so much today because my wife, who's also my manager, told me not today, just so we can create this. So I'm just going to keep on going. But you have to sell today the way people buy today. I'm going to prove to you why you cannot fail in selling yourself and in your services today. Yes, you can. First off, note how I worded that. You're selling yourself and your services. There is only one you, and that's truer than true, and there's no one better at being you than you. Okay, that's Dr. Seuss. No one has seen what you've seen. No one has been where you've been. No one has your collection of experiences, knowledge base, gifts, skills, and talents. No one but you. So if you will sell yourself first, what do I mean by sell yourself? Why should anybody do business with you? What about you is a good reason to do business with? What do you got? What kind of experience do you have? Have you helped anybody before? Do you got any recommendations or testimonials? Has anyone written down anything about you? Has anyone videoed or recorded anything good about you? The way we buy today, the way I buy today, and I'm an average person, I don't even watch a movie on Netflix until I check out the reviews of the movie. Okay, I look it up. I see what other people have said about it because I don't want to waste 2 hours watching a movie that history and other people have told me already doesn't do well, it's not a good movie. So if it has positive reviews, I understand even the best movies have some negative reviews. So I'm going to look and see a bunch of the reviews. I'm a cigar enthusiast. I don't even buy a new cigar until I read the reviews of the stick and what's in the stick. I want to learn about the stick first before I purchase it. Doesn't matter if it's a $10 stick or whatever. It's still my money. That expression, easy come, easy go, is not true. It's only easy go. So we don't waste money, and we don't want to waste time either. So we will check out reviews. Do you have any? Has anyone been willing to say anything good about you? Is there anything that you know that your service does? You know, there are 7 reasons why people enthusiastically give their money, enthusiastically give their time. There are 7. I'm gonna talk about 2 of them on this broadcast here. Just 2. And if you come back, I might do another 2 and another 2 and another 2. But number 1, for you entrepreneurs, in the part about selling yourself and your services, is there any part of what you do that will save your clients some time. Time, Time. People give money to the person or the thing that will save them some time. If they hire you, are there any results that they will be able to achieve faster because they hired you? Will they be able to achieve that weight loss goal they have faster with your help? Will they be able to put their family in a financial services plan that grows and protects money faster with your help than they would without your help? Will they be able to sell themselves more effectively, much faster with your help than without your help? Even in my profession as a sales coach, as a sales confidence coach, the stuff I teach can be found. They can find it in their own research. They can find some of the stuff on YouTube and sometimes from Google. They can find a lot of what I teach, but what they cannot find anywhere else is my perspectives that's born out of having done what I do for 29 years, my perspective based upon my more than 700 books that I have read on selling and self-development. Yes, I have read more than 700 of them. I have literally made thousands of sales in my career. Yes, I have. Thousands of times I've asked someone for money and gotten it. And also, I'm sure I've missed more than 1,000 sales in my life too, where I've offered something in exchange for money and didn't get it. So all of that experience I've had, those thousands of presentations I've given in pursuit of money, all the study I've done, all the years I've done, all the people that I have trained, I literally have hundreds of testimonials. Yes, I do. Between 300 and 400 of them, where someone has taken time to write down something good about their experience of working with Brian K. McNeill. Because I have these testimonials and reviews, because I have these 29 years of experience, because I've read so much, I have a perspective that I believe is unique. I have a perspective that I believe saves people time because of what I've learned. This is a shortcut. If you will do these things based upon my continued study, I still study more than anybody you know. If you will do these things, you will be able to sell yourself more faster with my help than without my help. In your business, entrepreneurial friends, is there any part of your services that you believe will help your clients to achieve a result faster as a result of knowing you? If it is, you need to talk about it. The first one is time. The second one is the word money. Money is a reason why people will hire you. And money goes in a few different ways. Money goes through, they will hire the person or the thing that will either save them some money or help them to earn more money, or both. What you do, what you offer the world, do you believe will save your client some money? If it will save them some money, you need to talk about it. Will it help them to earn more money? If it does, you need to talk about it. Or will it do both? A lot of times, especially if you're a coach or a consultant, you're saving, and you're good at it, you're saving the client money by keeping them from wasting their money. You're saving them money by keeping them from wasting money by chasing shiny objects, throwing money out of what's new and fashionable or what seems shiny, on things that don't work. You keep them from wasting money on things that are not sure. Okay, if you know your game works, if you know your systems work, and you help them to take advantage of your systems, they're not wasting money on things that don't work. By the way, if your services happen to be more expensive than your clients, your competition, if your services are more expensive than your clients, good. Because I let people know that, Brian, you cost more. It's more to hire you than to hire that other person. And I like to tell people, and I want you to put your own spin on this, I do not believe it's wise for anybody to spend too much money. I think that's unwise to spend too much. But I believe it's more unwise to spend too little. See, because if you spend too much money, the worst thing that happens is you lose some money. But if you spend too little, the worst thing that can happen is you lose all the money. You don't get the result that you spent the money for in the first place, and then you have to buy it again. You spend too much money, you will get the result because you're paying for higher quality, but you're just spending more money. So it's more risky, I believe, to spend too little. And I tell clients, if the dollar is really the reason why you're going to consider someone else, I'm saying you should keep all of your money. Don't throw any money at anything that you're not sure is going to work, So I don't think it's wise to spend too much money, but I think it's more unwise to spend too little. So if your services will help your clients to save money, you need to help them to understand that. If your services will help your clients to earn more money, you need to make sure that they understand that as well. Those are two powerful reasons, my entrepreneurial friends, that if you understand these principles and talk about these things, contributes to the factor of why you cannot fail in selling your services. Now, I'm going to continue making my point about why you cannot fail in selling your services. Selling is largely a mechanical function. Selling is largely a process, not an event. It's a mechanical function. It's a process. It's not an event. When I say it's a mechanical function, like when a mechanic has to work on a vehicle, they have manuals. And if they follow the manual, they can solve the problem. When a doctor has to perform a surgery, there are manuals. Okay. The doctor is doing the same mechanical work, but on a body instead of a car. He has manuals that he has to follow, curriculum or guidelines that he has to follow. When he cuts on someone's skin and they go into their body, there are things that he has already read about. There's things that he's already read about, studied about, knows about before he goes inside of a person's body with a scalpel. Okay? There are things you, my entrepreneurial friends, can read about, know about, learn about before you pick up the phone or offer your services to a potential client. You are just as much a professional as that doctor. Yes, you are. There's things that you can learn. There are ways that you can learn, my entrepreneurial friends, that if you will say this in the beginning or start this way and continue the process this way and follow up this way and stay in the game that way, you eventually will win. I'm going to say some stuff to you. Every presentation, presentation is where you actually tell what you do and actually tell your rates. Go all the way through where you tell your rates. Every presentation you give will end up a sale. Eventually. Yes, it will. Every presentation you give will eventually result in a sale being made. Sometimes that sale being made because the result of your presentation is going to go to somebody else because you didn't follow up long enough. But every presentation will result in a sale. And you need to follow up long enough to make sure that the benefit of your presentation goes to you instead of someone else. Message. Every now and then, I am talking to an entrepreneur who's in pain, and they say things like, I'm in a sales slump. It's not happening. People are not buying. Really? So, okay. So I know that's not the truth. So I can ask them a few questions, and maybe these questions apply to you. If you believe that the reason you're not making any sales or you're not making enough sales, just a couple of questions I want you to consider before I show you how to fix this. If you're not making sales as an entrepreneur, and I've already said to you a couple of times, you cannot fail in selling your services. But if you're not making sales, have you formally offered your services to anyone? Now, when I say a formal offer, that means you gave them a chance to say no to what you do. You gave them a chance to say yes. They understand what you charge. They understand that you're in position. They understand that you are willing to serve them in exchange for money. Have you offered your services in the past 30 days? You have. How many times have you offered your services in the past month? How many times have you offered your services in the past 2 months? Typically, when I ask that question of an entrepreneur who is not making the money, the number is very low. Most entrepreneurs today out of fear of coming across as salesy, won't even ask for the business even once. They'll tell people what they do. They consider, I'm putting myself out there. That's another kiss of death statement. I've been putting myself out there and no one's hiring me. You can put yourself out there a lot until you formally ask someone to hire you, until you formally ask someone to buy from you, then that doesn't count as an offer. And that's like a billboard. You drive by that billboard, but you don't buy from the billboard. The billboard is making you aware of that thing that's on the billboard, but the billboard can't close the sale for you. It can't ask for the money for you. Only you can do that. Only you could do that. Okay? So I asked the question, have you been making offers? When an entrepreneur today in 2021, if they're not making sales, it means two things. It means, one, that they're either temporarily motivated by comfortable working at actions, or they don't know enough to make sales. Okay. Now, if they know enough and they're not making sales, that means they've gotten temporarily motivated by easy or comfortable actions. They don't do all the stuff anymore. They're cutting corners. They don't follow up right away. They don't send the recorded messages. They're not getting in position in the way of success. They don't go to the networking meetings. They're not doing some of the grunt work. They want to do only the easy stuff. I'll send you my video. I'll send you to my website. I want to send you this, that, and the other. I'll be happy to send you all kinds of content. Okay. But that's temporarily motivated by easy or comfortable working actions. That's one reason why sales will fail. When you get motivated to do only the easy or the comfortable stuff. The other reason why sales will fail is if you don't know enough, okay? Or you haven't learned enough about how to offer your services, or you've learned how to sell your services, but what you learned from it was 19 years ago when you took a class 19 years ago, okay? That doesn't work today, where you still have your MySpace account open, hoping someone on MySpace will reach out to you and say, here's the money, go ahead and do the stuff. That's not how it works. So if you don't know enough to make money today, that's an easy fix too. You can learn how. You can work with a coach. You can read a book. You can watch some videos. Here's the other challenge, though, of not knowing how versus comfortably and motivated easy measures. Very often today, and this might be you too, entrepreneurs are not sure of what their problem is. They're not sure, because if they were sure, they would just Google it and figure it out and fix it themselves. So they're not sure. So sometimes even researching it is not good enough, because you're not sure what the actual problem is, which is why you need either a coach or a mentor in that particular case. But if you're just temporarily motivated by comfortable work hours, that can be fixed too. Just go back to when your business, whatever your basics are, your basic training, as if you had no leads, no contacts, as if you were brand new, your basic training. This is how we approach. This is how we offer. If you don't have basics, you can develop them or borrow them. You can develop basic methodologies from yourself for your business, or you can borrow someone else's system and adapt it to you and yours. If you will do what's your industry's basics, if you will do your industry's basics of selling, if you will follow your normal steps to the sale for you, you cannot fail. It's impossible to fail. I'm going to tell you some numbers. As an entrepreneur, if you're full-time, you need to offer your services to someone minimally 4 times a week. 4 times a week. Now, what I'm about to tell you is going to be controversial, because you got some other experts who say you need to be making 50 phone calls a day, or 100 phone calls a day, or 60 or 80, whatever. I do not. I think the number 4 is a magical number in selling. You need to offer your services 4 times a week. You need to offer your services 16 times a month, irrespective if they say yes or no. The way I want you to offer your services, once your client fully understands what you do, I want you to ask them to give your services a try. You start asking people to give your services a try. Will you give my service a try? If you do that 4 times a week, this is a basic system thing. 4 times a week, and I want you on a Monday through Friday schedule. So between 5 days, figure out a way to offer your services 4 times a week. 16 times a month, offer your services. If you will do that, you cannot fail in selling your services. If you will understand that selling is a process and not an event. Selling is a process, not an event. Entrepreneurs who don't understand selling, they will meet the client and ask them to get married right away. Hello, my name is Brian McNeill. I think you're lovely. I saw you across the bar. Can we get married? No, I don't know you. I don't know enough about you. I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I like you. I don't know if there's any reason why I'd want to marry you. When you don't understand selling, that's how you treat your business. As if as soon as they hear you, they're supposed to know enough to say yes to you. You must romance the business. Romance it. So I'm telling you today, if you will understand that selling your services is a systematic thing. It's a mechanical function. You cannot fail if you follow your basic steps. Systems are more profitable than skills. Understand it's a process and not an event. If you will follow up the right way, if you are willing to study, work with a coach, you cannot fail. We've been going for 26 minutes now, and I'm sure I've given a lot of content. If you've watched this podcast and you believe that you've gotten some value, put a hashtag value in the comments, hashtag value, or you can say what you found helpful. If you found something helpful particularly, please put that in the comments. I will read it, and if you want me to, I'll follow up with you. I'm going to do this every week on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. I'm going to record next week. It'll be episode 002. I have launched a series of free sales trainings called the 4 Only series, because from industry to industry to industry, there's so much of how to sell that's completely communicable. It'll work in this industry, it'll work in that industry, this industry, and that industry. But within each industry, there are some things that are particular to that industry. There are some things that are peculiar to that industry. And if you will, I've launched a series of 4 onlys. For example, last Wednesday, I did a free public workshop for real estate professionals only, because there's something particular in that industry. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm giving a workshop for coaches and consultants only. And it'll be another live podcast. Coaches and consultants only. So if you happen to know of a coach or a consultant, particularly if you like that coach or consultant, if you know them and like them, reach out to me and I will get them into that free public workshop for coaches and consultants, and they will thank you because they will learn something then that will help them to earn money. Again, my name is Brian K. McNeill. The easiest way to connect with me is just to go to my website, briankmcneil.com. I do this work and I offer this training because I believe that God has uniquely gifted me. He has uniquely qualified me. He has uniquely prepared me to teach entrepreneurs how to sell themselves and their services. I believe I've been gifted in that way. And if I don't do what I believe it is that God wants me to do with my time, I am not honoring my gift. I am doing this because I believe he gave me the talent and he wants me to do it. I also believe that there are some people that can hear my voice. They can hear me. They can hear my voice. They can hear my heart. And they know I'm here to be helpful to them. Those are the people that I'm here to serve. And if I don't serve them well, they won't be served at all. So I have a responsibility. I have an ability to respond to the entrepreneurs who need to learn how to sell themselves and their services better. And I do it as good as I can, and I'm honored to do it. Again, my name is Brian K. McNeill. This has been episode 001 of the Sales Confidence Podcast. Thank you for joining me. Help me to grow this. Refer a friend or somebody. So next week, and we'll keep it going. God bless you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day.